So 1 or 2 questions is already 8:15. I may invite 1 or 2 questions. Yes. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Yes.
There are no afflictions and there are no active seeds of afflictions. Then if there are no afflictions, there is not have contaminated karma.
Okay, very good question. The question is, in the case of arahats, we said that they don't have afflictions. Of the three afflictive obscurations, the first one, which is afflictions, they are freed of. And the third one which is further two kinds, the seed of the afflictions and the seed of the contaminant karmas. The seed of the afflictions, they are freed of. The seed meaning active seeds, freed of. Now the second one, what is the second one? Contaminated karmas. So she's saying that if we don't have the afflictions, how can we potentially accumulate contaminated karmas? You're right. So the contaminated karmas is of two kinds. The previous already accumulated contaminated karmas and the ones to be accumulated freshly. So the arahats, because they don't have the afflictions, you are very right. They will not accumulate further contaminated karmas, but they do have the already accumulated previous karmas are there. So now the seeds of the contaminated karmas, because the contaminated karmas are there, either in the form of not active, in the form of seeds. Sorry. Okay. Let us put like this. Say this is a good question. For the karmas, I would say they are not burned. For the afflictions, the seeds are burned, right? They will not give rise to the afflictions once more. But for the karmas, say in the past lives when the arahat was just an ordinary person, right? The arahat might have been that person who was to become arahat after 100 lifetimes. So before 100 lifetimes, that person may be so cruel not to give enough food to his servants or to his assistants, like that. And this is negative karma. So that is being inherited by the same person, even at the point of the arahatship. If the result was not ripened before that, then after achieving arahatship, the seed was still there. And then because of which some arahats, they suffer from hunger. There were cases. There were stories of the arahats who died because of hunger. Okay, one important thing with this connection, for us, when the hunger is there, when we suffer from hunger, what's the problem? Mental agony is there. You agree with me or not? Mental agony is there. Not only that your body becomes frail, your body becomes so weak, mentally you become so disturbed. For the arahats, because of the wrapping of the negative karma of harming others by not depriving others of food and so forth, they may be deprived of food in this life, even up to becoming arahat. Their body may become so frail, but their mind is not agitated. Their mind is still very fresh, so stable, not affected, not suffering. No mental suffering after achieving arahatship. Only physical deformities, physical disabilities, physical setbacks could be there, but mentally freed from any pains as arahats, right? Okay, so that arahat for 2 years, 3 years may have lavish food, all these things, but then one day may not get food, right? And then the physical weakness happen. So that is the result of the negative karma. So that negative karma is still in the seed, in the form of seed, to give rise to that result. Right? Okay. Any more questions?
How do they exist? The arhats.
In the arhat, they exist meaning the arhat. Many of them are in meditative state. They meditate, just keep meditating. And many of them give teachings to others. And particularly, arahats remembering the kindness of the Buddha. They become arahats, they are freed from samsara altogether because of the kindness of the teachings of the Buddha. So to repay the kindness of the Buddha, they want to make the Buddha happy. So what do you think will make the Buddha most happy? to serve the sentient beings, to serve others. So knowing that, the Buddha would be so happy if you serve the sentient beings, if you have the sentient beings. So therefore, to repay the kindness of the Buddha, many of the arahats, they engage in giving teachings towards others. So this is one way of how they exist.
What about those arahats in the traditions and
Okay, there is no difference between arahats of Theravada, arahats of Mahayana, arahats. There's no difference. Let's say tradition of Theravada and Theravada is different. Theravada tradition and Theravada is different, right? Theravada tradition meaning nowadays what is seen as a practice designed in those people who follow what they call as the Theravada tradition. Don't mix that with the Theravadas. So many Theravadas, they may not be following the present day Theravada traditions, they may be following the Aranagarjuna's tradition. Right? So Theravada and following Theravada tradition is different.
Vishal and Guru of these arahats, since they had the karmic afflictions, they can be reborn.
So, okay, did you all follow the question? The question is that if the arahats, if they have the active karmas, contaminant karmas, then these contaminant karmas will throw them in samsara once more. For the contaminant karmas, they are like the seeds. So the seeds to germinate. Okay, karma is of two kinds. Some of you are already familiar, many of you may not be. Karmas are, there are so many ways of classifying karmas. There are so many ways of classifying karmas. Classifying karma in the way which is being raised here, it can be classified into two. Propelling karmas and the cooperative karmas. Cooperative, one which cooperates, one which aids. One is propelling karma, and the other one, one is the projecting karma, and the other one is the cooperative karmas. Okay, projecting karma is the karma which throws you in the next lives, which throws you into the next rebirths. What is the other one? Cooperative karma. Cooperative karma is the karma which gives rise to which furnishes. For example, say, okay, I have no house to live, right? And then somebody wants to buy a house. Somebody, okay, not for me, but for yourself. Somebody wants to buy a flat, right? And the builders, they advertise on your mobiles. It comes. The builders, they mobile. Okay, it starts from this lakh, so forth. So the builders, what they do is that first they build the basic infrastructure, the basic skeleton of the house, and then you go there. Okay, now this is my flat, right? So you are projected into this flat. You are projected into this flat. Earlier you did not have a house. Now you have a house. You have a house in samsaric house. You are projected in this flat, and then okay, so I will have the walls. They are not painted, or they did not have any what? They are not furnished in other ways, right? Now you have to spend extra money to furnish them. You getting it? So the builder has given you the main building, main flat, and then your job is to furnish them with extra money, right? So the first money which you invested to get the main flat from your builder, that is like the projecting karma. The karma which projected you in that house, in that flat. And then once you are there, then you have to spend extra money to furnish the house. That is the cooperative, right? Say, some people, they are born, of course, some beings, they are born as human beings. Human beings. But then, say they may be born so poor. They may be born with poverty. Right? So, being born as human being is the result of positive karma. So, there's projecting karma is very positive. But then, while as human beings, what furnished is the poverty is furnished. Poverty is what you are with. This human being is with poverty. So, that poverty is the result of negative karma. So the cooperative karma is negative, while while what? Projecting karma is positive. And while you are poor, you can have such good neighbors around you. How many of you have good neighbors? How many of you have difficult neighbors? That is also because of your karma, right? Okay, so look, projecting karma is one. Projecting karma, only one projecting karma can project you there. But the cooperative karma, millions can interplay. Millions can interplay. Some positive, some negative, some intensely positive, some intensely negative, some are mediocre negative, some are mediocre positive, so forth. Say you're born as human being. What is that karma? Positive, projecting or cooperative? Projecting. This is positive and negative. Positive. Very good. And you're born as human being, but you're born as a beggar, in a beggar family. What is that karma? Positive, negative? Negative. Projecting or cooperative? Cooperative. But the mother is so kind, the father is so kind. There is also a positive karma, right? There's a projecting karma or a cooperative karma? Cooperative karma. And then your neighborhood is so terrible. Positive karma, negative karma. And then there is running water there. Running water there, you don't have to look for mineral water. This is so clean and so pure, right? You don't have to pay anything. That there's a running water next to your house. There's positive karma, negative karma. Look, there's a play of millions of cooperative karma, but the projecting karma is one at a time, right? So the arahats, the karmas which will act on the arahats, the contaminated karmas which will act on the arahats is not the projecting karma, it's only the cooperative karmas. So for the projecting karma is very serious. It's very serious. Projecting karma is very serious. Okay, tell me, which is better? You're born in a poor family, or you're born as a dog of a very billionaire. Some dogs are billionaires. You know that? Some dogs are billionaires. When the owner dies, the owner leaves the money in the name of the dog, and the dog lives in 5-star hotel. You know that? You know that? The dog lives in 5-star hotel, and the person has to take care of this dog, has to take to swimming pool, all these things, right? So the cooperative karma is enormous, but the projecting karma is hopeless. Which is better for you, tell me? Particularly, you're born as a human being in a very poor family, but you come to know about Chubar Sumling. Which is better? As a billionaire dog, or as a very poor person coming to know about Lama Tsopa Rinpoche, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Lama Tsopa Rinpoche, which is better? That is, second one is much better, right? So therefore, projecting karma is so important. And for the projecting karma, it is like how it becomes manifest or how it ripens. For that to be ripened, it requires the watering of the afflictions. For the projecting karma, it needs to be watered by the afflictions. It is like the seed, active seed, that needs to be ripened, projected in the form of a life the next time. So for that, it has to be germinated with the help of the afflictions as the water. And since the arahats have already eliminated afflictions, there's no water to germinate this projecting karma. So the projecting karmas, they are all non-functional for the arahats. Projecting karmas are there, but they are not all non-functionals because there is no afflictions to germinate this, to water this seed. You're getting it? So therefore, arahats will never take samsaric birth there, while they do have the contaminated karmas, projecting karmas. They do have the projecting karmas in samsara, but they become dysfunctional. Dysfunctional because there is no afflictions to nurture them, to water them, for them to be germinated.
You just said, the arahats are there to benefit sentient beings.
Yes.
And to teach them dharma. So they have to take a human form.
Okay, good question. Did you all follow the question? The arahats, they become arahat, and then they also have compassion. They also want to repay the kindness of the Buddha. So they are continuous to benefit sentient beings. Why don't they take rebirth next time again to come back as human and again continue to teach? This is the question which is dealt in by Acharya Dharmakirti. This is the question dealt by Acharya Dharmakirti in his text, chapter 2 of his text, Pramana Vartika. Chapter 2 of his text, Pramana Vartika. So this Pramana Vartika, I have already translated this into English very recently. This Pramana Vartika text, chapter 2, not the, there are 4 chapters, only chapter 2, which is the most important one, I translated just very recently into English. So all of those who are interested to have a copy of that, of course it's too technical, but then those who are interested in that, I'll be so happy to give you the soft copy. Before that, I need to polish it a little bit, polish the English and the translation a little bit, and then I can send them to you directly or through Chogur Sumning Shandi, right? Yeah. So, okay. So, so therefore, the answer given there Acharya Dharmakirti is that, okay. This before I give the answer, I will give an analogy, and then you will know the answer what Acharya Dharmakirti has given, right? Okay. How many of you think that if a beggar comes, and then if the beggar asks for, I'm so desperately in need of 50 rupees, how many of you think you can give 50 rupees? Okay, very good. And then the beggar says that I need so much money, at least what you earn 1 month, that I need, or what you earn 1 year, that I need. How many of you are daring to give that? Okay, right? So you have compassion towards the beggar. When you have compassion, does not mean that I have compassion to give everything, right? There's a limit there, right? 10 rupees is fine. 50 rupees is fine. Okay, 100 rupees, don't come next time, right? Give it once, right? And then 200, are you very serious? It's very true. And then you may inquire with others, right? And with, say, 10,000 or 1 lakh rupees, I'm very sorry, right? Okay, you may have money, but you may not, your compassion may not be that strong. So arahats, they do have compassion, but their compassion is not strong as that of the bodhisattva to the extent to take a new rebirth to benefit other sentient beings. So they would say that, okay, as long as I live in this life, I will help sentient beings. After that, bye-bye. That is arahat, that is the Shirvagan Pradika Buddha's the level of degree of compassion. Okay, final question. Yes.
And what form are they?
They are in human forms. They are in the deva forms, human forms. Whichever form they achieved arahatship. Okay, now next question. Oh, arahat. If you become arahat, then to arahatship also is enlightenment. Enlightenment is of various kinds. Full enlightenment and partial enlightenment. So arahats, they are like partial enlightenment. Second grade enlightenment. First grade enlightenment, full enlightenment is Buddhahood. So the arahats, whether or not they can achieve what?
Nirvana.
Full enlightenment, because they already achieved nirvana, right? Whether or not they will achieve Buddhahood, this question. So don't worry. Anyway, in the first place, don't go for arahatship. Better go directly towards Buddhahood. Because if you go for arahatship first, you achieve arahatship, then have you ever heard from any teacher or from any text how long or what is the length of the time for one to achieve Buddhahood? Huh? Precisely 3 countless, not 3 eons. Wow, you're very fortunate if it's 3 eons. It's 3 countless eons, what the text says, right? And then if you achieve arahatship, and then follow the Mahana path, it will take 40 countless eons, not 3 countless eons, 40 countless eons. So therefore, if you really want to follow a path, follow the Mahana path directly. Don't go through arahatship, right? Okay, 1. Then should it be the case that someone went through arahatship, or even the Buddha is also arahat? Don't forget this. Buddha is also arahat. When we say arahat and Buddhahood, arahat means inferior arahats. Arahats who achieve personal liberation, not the full Buddhahood. Buddha is the best of the arahats. Supreme of the arahat is the Buddha, right? Okay. Say, should there be someone who achieved arahatship, and then The question is whether that Arhat will eventually become Buddha. This is the question. So whether you like it or not, you will follow the path of the Buddhahood. Because after achieving Arhatship, then when the time is ripened, the Buddha will inevitably appear before you. And then you deeply trapped, you deeply submerged into non-dual experience of emptiness, where no one can stir your meditation. This is known as Vajra-like meditation, Vajra-like samadhi. When Arhats, they achieve Arhatship, when they are deeply into this non-dual experience of emptiness, no one can stir this Arhat from this meditation. No one. Even if you move the Arhat's body like this, body may be stirred, the mind cannot be stirred. Right? So this is the confidence the Arhats achieve. So in this state, only the Buddha can stir them from their meditation. Then Buddha will, what is this? Snap. Buddha will snap right close to the ears, right close to the Arhat's ear. And then the Arhat simply, inevitably arises from the meditation. And then started wondering, no one can stir me from my meditation, but today my meditation is stirred. Who is that? And then we'll see the Buddha. Seeing the Buddha, then the Buddha will say that, then Buddha will say, this is what is said in the text. The Buddha says that it is amazing that you have crossed the ocean of samsara, but still you have not perfected your qualities. If you don't believe, look at me. This is what the Buddha instructs. And then the Arhat would look at the Buddha. And seeing that this is so special, which the Arhat does not have, then would say that, how come that you are like this? How can I become one like you? Follow the Bodhisattva path. So this is what the Buddha will instruct. Then they will follow the Bodhisattva path. And how long does it take for them to become Buddha then? 40 countless eons. And you may be wondering, why? How? Right? Imagine you are given some money. You are given some money to build a house for yourself. Right? There are two persons. Both of you are given money by someone to build a house for yourself. And then you build a house just rashly with cement, all these things, you build a house. And the other one, oh, so the house which I need, house which I'm looking for, it cost me at least 40 lakhs rupees. And what I have now is just 30 lakhs rupees. So I need additional 10 lakhs rupees. So I'll wait till then. Right? Then he or she will work forward to get 10 lakhs rupees more. And the other person built a house for 30 lakhs rupees. In the process, the contractor consumed what? 20 lakhs. 20 lakhs gone in the contractor's pocket, the engineers or whatever. Right? So got the house for 20 lakhs rupees. And the other person, so prudent, second one, so prudent, with this prudence, finally got the 10 lakhs extra money, and then built such an amazing house. Not only a house and the small hospital, small clinic for the neighboring poor people, and small school for the children. Everyone is benefited. And then you regret. And somebody says, why is he demoralized? Oh, because we are in the same situation, but he has been so thoughtful, and then I constructed this house. Now I regret. I want to demolish this, and I want to build. Right? Okay. Now the second person, the kind person gives the person, how much do you need? So he gave 40 lakhs for this. I also need 40 lakhs. And this person gives 40 lakhs. Right? Now look, this house will this person get the same house as that for 40 lakhs? Will the first person will get the same house for 40 lakhs, or will have to spend more? And time-wise, say that person to construct that house took the person, say, 1 year. And for the second person to build the same house will take 1 year or more. Why more? First, we have to demolish that, and demolish it because it is already created by very concrete, solid concrete. It's so difficult to break the concrete, particularly the foundation. Is so difficult to break the concrete. So they are built with concrete of self-centered attitude. I should become arhat. I should become arhat. So with that concrete, they build a path. So now they have demolished this concrete of the self-centered attitude. I. That should be demolished. So to demolish that, it takes so much of time. Right? Let's turn to page 1. Page 1 of the preliminary prayers. Okay, there are several handouts. So the one with the preliminary prayers. Okay, we'll read this together very quickly. Imagining the 3 points: refuge field, Buddhism Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all Buddhism Bodhisattvas. And then Bodhicitta field, your 2 kind parents, all your family members, all sentient beings around you. And the purpose of this, the day 1 teaching is to unfold the hidden treasure, the most precious hidden treasure of Buddha nature, by eliminating the afflictive obscurations, which are all rooted to the self-grasping ignorance, and the cognitive obscuration grounded to the self-centered attitude, by resorting to the 2 remedies: the wisdom of emptiness to eliminate self-grasping ignorance, and the bodhicitta to eliminate self-centered attitude. With that in mind, imagine that you are joined by all sentient beings and you are leading this group. With that in mind, let's recite from page 1 of the preliminary prayers. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel the perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is filled up with elaborations. I prostrate to the mother of the Buddhas and of the hearers and Bodhisattvas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, who through knowledge of past causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through possession of omniscience, the subduers have fought the varieties among all aspects. Okay, now we will move to page 7. Sangye choda so page 7. Sangye choda soge chonamda chanjo pardo dane kyapsu chin. Dage chin so kebe sonamge jola penjir sangye jubarai shom. Sangye choda soge chonamda chanjo pardo dane kyapsu chin. Dage chin so kebe sonamge jola penjir sangye jubarai shom. Sangye choda soge chonamla chanjo bardo dane gyapsu che dage jinso kebe sonamge dola benjir sangye jubarai shu. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I chant the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, now let's turn to page 6. This mantra, Om Ye Dharma mantra, this is so important. This is the final essence, of the Buddha's teachings, the essence and the foundation of the Buddha's teachings. So before we recite the mantra, we will read the meaning of the mantra first. We'll read the meaning of the mantra, and then we will sing the mantra in tune. We'll sing the mantra in tune. First, let's read the meaning of the mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. So here, all phenomena here referring to all the miserable phenomena, undesirable phenomena. All undesirable phenomena, They only arise from their respective causes. And what these causes are, now we know. What are the causes of these unresolved results? Afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscuration. Self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. And what these causes are, they are taught by the Tathagata. The sources are taught by the Tathagata. And how to bring an end, how to bring the cessation of these causes. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer meaning the Buddha. Now, from what we have learned in this class, how do we bring an end to the causes of the suffering? By resorting to wisdom of emptiness and a bodhicitta. Wow, you know it perfectly good. Very good. With that in mind, let's recite this mantra. This mantra bears the meaning, this meaning. So we will sing this mantra in tune. Okay, I will sing this, and then let's slowly, you join me. We'll sing it 3 times. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava etunte shantatha gato hyavatat eshan chayo nirodham evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava etunte shantatha gato hyavatat eshan chayo nirodham evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava etunte shantatha gato hyavatat eshan chayo nirodham evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Okay, let's recite 4 more times. Make it 7. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava etunte shantatha gato hyavatat eshan chayo nirodham evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava etunte shantatha gato hyavatat eshan chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava etunte shantatha gato hyavatat eshan chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava etunte shantatha gato hyavatat eshan chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Okay, now let's turn to Heart Sutra. Heart Sutra, the dedication, not the dedication, the mantra. Heart Sutra mantra. That also we will sing. Heart Sutra mantra we will sing. Heart Sutra mantra, most of you might have that by heart. Page 4. Page 4. Page 4. Okay, I'll sing this, and then slowly you join me. Okay, Heart Sutra mantra. This is again like another way of presenting the Dharma and inspiring us to follow, to not just be complacent with what you learn, not just be complacent with what you have. It says that rise above, don't remain in misery. Go beyond misery, go away from misery. Okay, it says that rise above towards final freedom from samsara. Rise above towards the final freedom from samsara. How? Through how through 5 steps, gade, gade, paragade, parasangade, bodhi, swaha. The 5 steps. What are the 5 steps? The 5 paths. Path of accumulation, gade. The second gade, path of preparation. Parasangade. No. Paragade, gade, paragade. Paragade is the path of seeing. Parasangade is the path of meditation. Bodhi swaha, establish the Buddhahood, establish the lasting happiness. This is the path of no more learning, the 5 paths, right? So we are being inspired to traverse along the path. Don't remain in why should you suffer? Why should you suffer? Rise above the misery, rise above samsara. In the form of, through these 5 paths, you achieve the lasting happiness for yourself and for all sentient beings. This meaning, go beyond, go still beyond and establish the enlightenment. This is the meaning, right? Okay, with that in mind, and then as we recite it, imagine that the Buddha is exhorting. As we recite this, imagine the Buddha is in front of you and the Buddha is exhorting, Buddha is instructing us, inspiring us. Don't remain in samsara, rise above, come towards Buddhahood, come towards happiness, lasting happiness. And then imagine that you are taking all the sentient beings with you, listening to the Buddha, right? With that in mind, you recite it, and then it will make total sense. And with melody, it will be so powerful. Okay, with that in mind, let's recite. Imagine all sentient beings with you. Imagine all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are there and exhorting us this mantra. Yatha Om Gade Gade Paragade Parasamgade Bodhi Swaha Yatha Om Gade Gade Paragade Parasangade 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 Bodhi Swaha. Okay, then the end dedication prayer is there separate. Okay, dedication prayers. So there's a separate handout with dedication prayers. Okay, let's turn to page 25. Let's turn to page 25 of that part. Page 25. All merits, all wisdom we have gathered today. Let us dedicate the merits thus gathered. Imagine the light of the wisdom we have generated today, the light of bodhicitta we have generated today, be multiplied infinite number of times, and be shared with all the dear mother sentient beings, so that the darkness of the self-grasping ignorance and the darkness of the self-centered attitude within the minds of the dear sentient beings are eliminated for good, and that they experience the bounties of happiness eternally. Let's also dedicate the merits thus gathered, that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth today, may he live long, and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. May all the great teachers like Lama Tsongkhapa Rinpoche and all they live long, and their wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. May I personally dedicate the marriage thus gathered, that each one of you, through your concerted effort, in the practice of bodhicitta, in the practice of wisdom and emptiness, you experience the sugata, the perfect state, gone to the bliss. With that experience, may each one of you become a guide to lead as many dear mother sentient beings towards Buddhahood as possible. May the teaching on bodhicitta flourish in all 10 directions. May the teaching of the wisdom of emptiness flourish in all 10 directions. With that in mind, let's recite from page 25. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom are blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in the loving compassion for all lives. Manjushri, may I find the best of the complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I've discerned them. May I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time, with my heart going out with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once have spread have declined. May I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the mind of those who wish for liberation be granted boundless peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded path to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths, never be separated in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. Okay, and let's turn to the last page of the same handout. Last page, page 32. So this prayer is so important. I would very much encourage each one of us to include this prayer every day before you go to bed. So this prayer, finally how you can really benefit sentient beings. What becoming Buddha is one thing. After becoming Buddha, what am I going to do? Oh, I should benefit sentient beings. How you are to really benefit sentient beings is by showing the light of the wisdom of emptiness in the spirit of bodhicitta. With compassion, you teach the wisdom of emptiness to the sentient beings. This is our final task. So this prayer is by Lama Tsongkhapa, taken out from his prayer which he said in his commentary on Aranagarjuna's fundamental wisdom of the middle way. So this prayer is added there. So seeing that prayer, I was so mesmerized by the power of this prayer. Then I started including this prayer every day before I go to bed. So this is a prayer I include, right? So it will be good that each one of us say this prayer. It is simply to spread, disseminate, and to hold the teaching on wisdom of emptiness by disseminating this teaching on emptiness to all sentient beings. Okay, with that in mind, let's recite this prayer. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by Arya Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings on dependent origination in particular, even at the cost of my life. Okay, good night. It's already 9. Okay, say tomorrow and day after tomorrow, make it a point that, just see, I'm not saying make it a point, see how much you can make it a point that you come as early as possible. Because in the morning, we are observing the aspirational bodhisattva vow. And you will know how to take the aspirational bodhisattva vow. And then a vow, it should not intimidate you. It does not have any commitment. Only commitment that you have is that I will try my best to be as kind as possible to others. I will try my best. It doesn't mean that I'll be kind, right? And the next day you are unkind to your neighbor, then you should not regret. Don't worry. Right? I will be as kind as possible. To the best I can, I'll do that. Where I'm limited, where I can't, I'm sorry. Right? So this much, if you can think, that is a commitment. So there is no commitment at all. In short, there is no commitment. But then this is so virtuous. If you could do that part, if you learn how to do that, so we have only 2 days, tomorrow and day after tomorrow for that part, taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow, right? So you will know how we do that in as a part of your daily practice. So only tomorrow and day after tomorrow. See, just try your best to make it in the morning session. Okay, good night. Now let's make 3 prostrations together.